this is Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 psychological horror film, Psycho. A little background into the story. Norman Bates, the protagonist, he suffered severe emotional abuse as a child at the hands of his mother, Norma Bates, who preached to him that all women except herself were whores. The novel, so there was a novel and a film. The novel also suggested that their relationship may have been incestuous. After Norman's father died, Norman and his mother lived alone together, and the novel described it as, or quote, as if there was no one else in the world, unquote. So they were that close to each other. This is until Norman reached adolescence, when his mother met a man that she was planning on marrying, and then Norman ended up killing the both of them in a jealous rage. Norman kept his mother's corpse in the cellar of the house that he inherited from her, and then he developed a split personality. He developed dissociative identity disorder, formerly known as multiple personality disorder, and he assumed his mother's personality after her death. His alter, Norma, became the possessive, domineering, belittling, and emasculating mother figure who killed anyone who threatened the illusion of her existence. When she was alive, Norma forbade Norman to have a life outside of her, and she would fly into violent rages whenever he was attracted to a woman. So she was the same way in after death, except she was a permanent part of Norman's personality. Norma and Norman carry on conversations through Norman talking to himself and to her corpse in the mother's voice, and Norman dresses in his mother's clothes whenever Norma takes hold completely. In the film, a young woman stops at a hotel to rest her head. She gets murdered by Norman Bates. Because why? Her presence threatened Norma's existence. Norma's existence, the mom. This nubile, single woman was a whore in Norman's eyes, and that upset Mama. Now let's backtrack. In my Jason Pope video, I talked about the Oedipus complex, and that's a similar situation to this. I explained how a dysfunctional family dynamic, like there's no man in the house, there's mental illness in the house, these types of things can lead to inappropriate relationships between mother and child. And that video dissects this entire situation. In that video, I talked about a mother's betrayal. Betrayal can be you abandoned the child, you ignored the child, you neglected them, or you found a man. You may have remarried. It could be other things too, but it's mainly those. And like Norman, when you betray the boy, he grows up to hate all women and punish women for that betrayal. Norman considers all women whores, like he's been taught, and he does things to get back at them. Now, the average man who is like this might not go to the extreme of murdering, but there will be consequences for as a result of this type of man's upbringing. So even after Mama's gone, he's going to be like this. He can't even deal with the fact that Mama's gone. So he became Mama. Norman became Mama. He developed a split personality, became her, so she always lives within him. This type of codependent relationship with the caregiver is also really common with people who have been infantilized by their parent. My video on infantilization breaks that down. So in Norman's case, no man in the household, no father, inappropriate relationship with mom. How is the modern black man like Norman Bates? Now first, I'm talking about a specific type of black man, the Norman Bates type of man, not all black men. I make sure to make the same distinctions when I talk about certain types of women in my videos. If who I'm addressing makes up a large percentage of the black population, that's not my fault. I'm not generalizing. I'm not saying that's the case here even. It's just, it does happen sometimes. So, type of man cannot have a normal relationship with women ever. And that's so unfortunate because this is a grown man. This is a grown adult who could have lived up to their full potential, their fullest potential, and been used for something positive. This is a person who could have been a good husband to a good woman and a good father, could have created a nice, healthy family. But instead, because of his upbringing, there are these issues. And it's not like this type of man can't recover from this, but it would take some time and effort. And the very first thing that would need to happen is he would need to realize that he was in this situation in the first place, which is something that rarely happens with these certain types of people. So he can't have a normal relationship with women ever because there will be too many instances where the woman will trigger thoughts of mama. And it would be unavoidable because most women behave in the same fashion. They have the same mannerisms, because they're the same gender. And it would be the worst thing that you could do to trigger these thoughts of mama. So you can't have a normal relationship with him. So he can't bond or relate in a normal way to a woman. Norman Bates was infantilized. This is a situation of infantilization of the son. They described Norma Bates as overbearing and controlling everything that he did, with emphasis on what women were allowed to be in his life. And that's a symptom of parents who infantilize their children. If you fall in the category of woman that mama disapproves of, these types of men who have been fully groomed, they are not the safest to be around. They do what mama says, they do what they think mama wants. Remember, Norma lives within Norman. She's a part of him. And she thinks that, or mama thinks that you're an evil whore. You're trying to steal her son. She's always in her son's ear. She's always a part of him, telling him what to do. It's not really safe around these types of men because they're not there to protect you. And the natural instinct is to think that a man will protect you, especially if you're in a relationship with them. But this type of man isn't. He's not there to do that. He's actually against you. And if you happen to have other people in life who are against you, I think everyone has, everyone's not loved by everybody. And at some point, you may need protection from a man. So in those situations, you won't get protection from this guy because all along, he was not for you. And he'll work with them. Whoever sees you as a target, whoever targets you, he will work with them. Now, who represents mama today in society? What types of women do these mom figures disapprove of? It will be anyone who's not in their image. Anyone who is not like them. So mama groomed him to dislike certain types of women, and she'll use shaming tactics. And people think that this type of thing is normal because these women have gotten away with inappropriate relationships with their sons for a long time. These types of women. Some of these tactics border on incestuous. But this inappropriate relationship between mother and son, it's normal in this community. This is something that no one wants to talk about because it's a disturbing thing. It's a part of your psyche that you don't want to disrupt. So this is what makes it so hard for the man to realize that he's been infantilized by mom, or that this is what happened, this is what went on. Now, most people can't break away from mama and the effect that she had on them. how she groomed them. Infantilized people, they grow up to be adults that have severely underdeveloped social skills. And a part of that is they don't learn how to stand up for themselves. And they don't learn that they shouldn't be mistreated or further infantilized by outsiders, by non-family members. So you allow strangers to also infantilize you. Now, mama represents, let me back up. This is a matriarchal society that we live in. The Black community is matriarchal. It's run by the women. So an infantilized man will see all of these other women in his mother's image. And if he doesn't know the situation that he's in, then he's going to behave this way. He's going to not be able to stand up for himself. But as far as attraction, these types of men could either only be attracted to women who look like mama or who are in mama's image. And I'm not just talking about skin color or race. I'm talking about body type and other things that it's not so normal to be attracted to because it's too close to your mother's image. Overall, this is a unfortunate effect of infantilization. And infantilization happens because the person, they say it's usually narcissists, but it's also other people with personality disorders. These people, they themselves grew up without love. This is how they deal with it. This is the type of love that they create for themselves. So they create the person, they give birth to a child, and they groom the child to provide them the love that they didn't get. That's in a nutshell, without being here all day trying to explain exactly what it is. These types of men grow up to have very, very complicated, mixed feelings about their mother and the people in their mother's image. So most people in the community, the women in the community, it's a mixture of love, reverence, fear, attraction, disgust, anger, hatred, identification, and a host of other really complicated emotions towards mother figures. And again, matriarchal society, so it's going to be generalized to all Black women.